Welcome to episode 2 of Tiempo FTS. I'm Fabio. Today, I'd like to discuss an interesting topic in the world of Major League Baseball between two young players, in Michael Conforto, left fielder of the New York Mets, and Aaron Judge, the right fielder for the New York Yankees. Who's better or why? All that will be discussed in today's episode. Let's get started. Well, this topic of interest first arises with talking to my brother, who was making the argument of that Michael Conforto was a better player than Aaron Judge. And I had my disagreements with him, and I thought it was a very interesting point of view comparing the two players. And statistically speaking, I noticed that they're both really close to each other. Also, I checked on Major League Baseball's Instagram page that they had a post asking the fans who they thought was better, and Michael Conforto or Aaron Judge. And I was reading a lot of the comments, and a lot of the comments are favorable to the New York Yankees right fielder Aaron Judge, and for many reasons. Reasons being that a lot of the fans consider him more as a stud as in an elite player, a player who's a force to be reckoned with. And Michael Conforto, a player who is important to the Mets, but probably not as important to the Mets in terms of winning, because as of right now they're not winning, and Aaron Judge contributes a lot more to the New York Yankees winning in this 2017 Major League Baseball season. So the only way that I could make this comparison is by comparing their numbers in the 2017 baseball season, and their numbers goes as follow. The left fielder for the New York Mets, Michael Conforto, 24 years old, has 150 at-bats this season, with batting .320, 13 home runs, 33 RBIs, and one stolen base, with an exit velocity of 89.53. And Aaron Judge, the 25-year-old right fielder for the New York Yankees, has 163 at-bats, batting .319 with 17 home runs, 35 RBIs, and 4 stolen bases. So now, these statistics that are most important in terms of offense, in terms of your contributions to the team, are pretty balanced, are pretty equal with each other. Michael Conforto only has 1 point higher than Judge's batting average, and Aaron Judge has 17 home runs, 4 more than Conforto's 13, and Judge has 35 RBIs as Conforto's 33 RBIs. Even although Conforto has less at bats, Conforto only has one stolen base compared to Aaron Judge's 4 stolen bases. So statistically, they're both pretty even. Now, what else can I do to compare both of them? Well, the only thing I could do right now is compare who leads a certain category in the league. And as of right now, Aaron Judge leads the league in home runs. And someone who hits home runs and hits for average and also for RBIs is someone who contributes to your team, someone who's able to hit all around. And Conforto doesn't lead the league in any category. Also, Aaron Judge has an exit velocity of 95.67 as opposed to Michael Conforto's 89.53. Now, 89.53 is still very impressive, but it's not 94.67. And Aaron Judge is huge. He's 6'7" compared to Michael Conforto 6'1". When you go to a Mets game, you're probably not going to be looking at Michael Conforto unless you're a Mets fan. But if you're going to a Yankee game and you see a 6'7" outfielder making plays, diving for the ball, throwing the ball, which Aaron Judge has a very, very great arm, you could tell that Aaron Judge is a better player in terms of marketing, in terms of what fans would want to see, someone who's a little bit different than everyone else. But to say that Conforto doesn't contribute to the Mets would be a lie, because he does contribute to the Mets. So who contributes more to which team? Well, let's compare the team's records. The New York Mets, as of right now, are 22 and 27 with 8.5 games behind. And the New York Yankees are in first place with 29 wins and 19 losses. So to me, using statistics and statistics alone, Aaron Judge is a run producer, home run producer that the Yankees heavily rely on in terms of offense. And Michael Conforto, even though he puts up good numbers. The Mets aren't winning right now. So who's more important? Aaron Judge. So as of right now, who do I think is better? Well, it's Aaron Judge because he's contributing much more to the New York Yankees' success rather than Michael Conforto contributing to the New York Mets losing. And I think this is a testament of both organizations. And what I mean by that is that Brian Cashman with the New York Yankees heavily understood that the Yankees needed a face change, if you will, of the whole organization, and having the patience for a team like the New York Yankees, who always have to be in the playoffs and always main goal is to win the World Series, and having the patience to rebuild from the bottom up, and developing the young players like as an Aaron Judge and Gary Sanchez, and also players such as Greg Bird, who's hurt right now. I think Brian Cashman understood that the organization had to change because the game was changing. As opposed to the New York Mets, well, they made a couple trades back in 2015 that heavily contributed to them in the playoffs, but never really contributed them in the long run. The Mets are supposed to have one of the best pitching staffs and starting pitching staffs in the whole league. But when you have Noah Syndergaard hurt and you have Matt Harvey not pitching well, and when you have other factors that are outside of the field, such as the players being undisciplined, and Terry Collins, who was supposed to really be, I guess that's that sort of authority figure in that organization, and all these other little things that could really hurt your team. You see that the Mets organization didn't really make changes in terms of a whole, if not made minor changes for a short run, as opposed to the Yankees, who understood that they had to be changing, they had to grow, and they couldn't be considered second best in New York, because for the longest time the New York Yankees organization is the go-to baseball team in New York. And in my opinion, I think that they just took that back in the very small amount of time, because you see, or I see in television, you see the commercials where the Yankees market to a younger generation, and that younger generation is going to fall in love with these quote unquote baby bombers, and they're going to grow up watching Aaron Judge, and they're going to grow up seeing Gary Sanchez, and they're going to start falling in love with Aroldis Chapman, who was a signing, and Della Betances, as opposed to the New York Mets. Well, they're not changing much, and I think that's another main contribution, that the Mets are gonna have to keep on making those changes to their organization. There's to really to make a difference. They're gonna have to change in some way, shape, or form. They're gonna have to change something about that team, whether it's in players, whether it's in terms of front office, the manager, whatever it may be. But they have to make a change because the game of baseball has changed, and the New York Yankees of Brian Cashman and the Steinbrenners heavily understood that. And today, right now, that's why that the Yankees are a winning team right now. Thank you for listening to episode 2 of Tiempo FTS. I'm Fabio. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a comment, like, and please hit subscribe.